You can't be broken when you embrace that you are darkness and lightness, and that you are basically equal parts, or that you have to accept both sides equally. Once you do that, you get the whole truth. You get the whole picture. And in the truth is your protection from evil and from negativity and all that. It's your protection. The truth protects us. It's like they say, knowledge is power. And it's the same thing with truth, because knowledge is truth. Truth is power. Truth is protection. Truth is spiritual freedom. But you have to embrace all of it. And darkness may seem like a scary thing, but it's just the truth, right? It's just reality, and we have to explore it and embrace it, and not reject it or put it to the side because it's inconvenient to us. You can't live your life being like, I'm going to be positive about everything. I'm just going to look on the bright side or do all the good that I can. Like, you want to do all the good that you can, but doing all the good that you can requires for you to have as much truth as you can. So if you really are looking for all the truth that you can gain in this world, in this life, you have to be open to darkness. You have to be. There are so many answers that lie in dark things and dark truths. And those things bring you more, enlightenment about everything, about yourself, about everything. And it does bring you more lightness. It brings you a lot more lightness than you could ever even imagine. But you have to explore the darkness first. It's like anything. People say stuff like, to get through to get to the good stuff, you need to go through the struggles, right? The people that suffer the most in the world, either, end up not making it, or they end up the happiest out of everybody else, right? So that's when you overcome all those obstacles and all your fears of what you don't understand yet. And so we have to try and understand everything. And darkness is not an exception. Just because it's scary and just because it seems like a bad thing to be negative or to look into negative things, it's not. It's the right thing to do. Because just like there is lightness on earth, there is also darkness. And the darkness comes from somewhere just as real as the lightness does. So, I think about how it's sort of like embedded in us as we grow up, because a lot of our families, a lot of us in our families, we've been surrounded by sort of certain lies and deceptions over our youth and all that. When we were growing up, we were surrounded by all these things that they didn't understand, and still people don't understand all the truths, right? People are still figuring it out, and I'm always still figuring it out, but you have to get further and further. But as we were all growing up, and I guarantee it, we were all deceived by something, pretty big in our own families, that allowed us to just keep going with not being aware of what's true and what's false. And the fact that lightness is important and darkness is important. All these things, all these truths were buried in deceptions, and nobody ever really wanted us to find out the truth about this world, because it's very corrupted, obviously. But what I'm trying to get at is that it's sort of a virus in itself, right? And it's in our families and it's in our environment, and it just keeps going and getting worse and worse and worse, until one day, I mean, we simply have to wake up, right? And people have been living with these deceptions for so long, um, that it takes a certain lifetime to discover all this stuff, and we're in that lifetime, we're in the end times, whether or not you believe in the end times or biblical things, we are in those times. So we are at a time where people are starting to feel the urgency to wake up and to learn about everything. So this is good. But just to say that, our whole lives, or probably most of us, um, has been in so many deceptions that you can't even start to like put it all together, because there's so much to like put together, that there's so many things we missed and lacked in our our families and all that, to sort of get rid of this disease that is like all these lies, about who we are, and what we're doing here, and what the point of everything is. And it's the same with lightness and darkness. Nobody's ever really told us. Most of us probably haven't been brought up in a family where they'd be like, embrace darkness, just like lightness, but not like, don't fall into it. At some point in your life, you have to pick one, but you still don't, avoid the other one. You just pick one that, like, this is the path I'm going to take, like, eternally, So, but you do have to always keep them in your pocket, right? Like, always, always. Because the darkness has so many lessons for us, just like the lightness does. They're both very important. And if you've grown up with struggles, you know, you you might have felt, a lot of darkness in your life, and seen a lot of darkness. But it's really how you move forward with it. Are you going to take it with you and embrace it as not just your past, but as your present and your future, as everything that it is, as everything that is, as everything that this life is? Are you going to bring it with you, or are you going to put it away, shut the door on it, and say, like, I will visit you when I want to? Because I'll tell you, that's wrong. You need to keep it close and allow it to enter your life anytime that it needs to, for lessons, just like the lightness brings us lessons. So we have to embrace it as part of ourselves, because we are living in a dark world with dark entities, with dark people, and dark, it's a dark world. There are dark truths. Most of this world is basically like, it's like one big dark truth, but the truth of who we really are, it's one big light truth. It's one big beautiful truth. It's amazing. So it trumps it, it just, so that's why the truth is so important. That's why both darkness and lightness are so important, because you need to learn from the one, in order to get better at the other. So, like, if you want to become lighter and you want to learn more about who you really are outside of this physical life, you need to embrace the darkness as a part of you, as a part of this life, as a part of this world, and explore it. and dig into it and learn about it. Gain knowledge and don't be afraid of it, because in the end, you have the power to do what you want to do, what you choose to do. And I think it's because people think that the darkness will bring them down, drag them down, or make them fall into things. But the darkness doesn't make you fall into things. You make yourself fall into things. You decide whether you're going to choose something dark or light in that very moment. But avoiding the truths about darkness and avoiding um, things that are dark, feelings that are dark, is not the answer. What is the answer is being open to all things, being accepting of it, embracing it, appreciating it, allowing it to be part of your everyday life. And when it comes time to make a decision on, whether it's one tiny little moment or one big moment, then you choose, do I do this or do I do that? But then you have all the possibilities, you know all the options, you're knowledgeable on how to, move forward with that answer and with your path. Um, but the point is, you really take it with you on your path everywhere you go. Do not avoid it. So if you embrace that you are darkness and lightness, you will grow. You will grow and grow and grow, and it will never, the truth will never cease to amaze you, and amaze you in the most beautiful ways, because in the end, I mean, for me personally, I choose the lighter path. I choose the holy path. So for me, it's always beautiful, even though sometimes the truths that are in the darkness are not good, and they are horrible in some ways, and horrible in a lot of ways too. Um, I still find happiness in all of it, and um, I still find it to be amazing and beautiful, because I know where I'm going, and I know that I'm doing the right things in this life to get there, and to help other people get there as well if they want to. So I will just I'll leave it at that. So I'll talk to you guys later.